Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in our amazing universe, and welcome to another episode of the Dr. Dolores Show. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, your host. And I have a question for you. Are you missing the signs the universe is sending you? Are you ghosting the universe? Well, it's something to think about because how often do we get the signs and the signs are always around us, but yet we ignore them, we don't hear them, or we don't know what to do with them? So I really decided that we should just have an episode on The Universe is Calling. Stop ghosting it. So, welcome to our show. And, I want to share with you that there's signs everywhere. We just have to be aware and to be able to see them, hear them, feel them, and maybe even taste or smell them. It's really about just really leaning into those subtleties that are there that we sometimes, fail to hear because we're constantly moving around or being distracted. So I'm hoping that after today's episode that I'll give you some insight on how you could better tune into that subtle voice so you won't ghost it again. So, another thing to remember is that the universe, when it calls, it rarely ever uses words. It speaks through synchronicities, your intuition, and opportunities. And I'm sure we've all had those situations where things magically happen and you're in the flow, you're aligned, and wonderful things happen. And it's like floating down the river. Okay. Your oars are up and you're kind of going along. And then all of a sudden, we maybe doubt that or we ignore it. And it's almost like we're putting the oars in and preventing ourselves from moving any further down the river. It's like we put ourselves in some resistance. So, and, I'm hoping that maybe we could clarify today what maybe those reasons why we silence or ignore these messages. And I think a lot of it has to do with just fear and fear of the unknown and, fear that we're going to make a mistake or choose the wrong thing, or maybe fear that it's not what everybody else wants us to do. Oh my, what a conundrum, huh? Well, this is where another way that we could step into our power by learning how to trust that and watch for the synchronicities in our world because there are numerous. And I know in my life, there's been numerous synchronicities, and I love talking about this one in particular because I was a East Coast girl, born and raised in Connecticut, and I had an opportunity to go visit a friend in California, and I had never been, west of the Mississippi. Like this was like 40 years ago, and this was a big adventure. And it was a stretch to go and visit this friend, yet I did it. And I knew that once I got there, that I was supposed to live, you know, in Southern California where I was visiting. And I just knew in my heart of hearts that this is where I needed to live. 3,000 miles away, yet, and I think the most interesting thing was, those of you who know me, I've been a nurse for a long time, like close to 45 years. And with nursing, we have reciprocity in our licensure. So when you take your boards in one state, you could actually practice in any state as long as you applied for a license in that particular state. So you have to realize that this goes back to um, predating computer time because this was in the late 1980s. And we didn't have email, we had snail mail. So everything was, letter writing, not sending emails. There was no such thing as an email at that time. Um, and we were told that for me to get a California license, it was going to take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Okay, great. So this was the end of March that I applied to get a new license so I could practice and get a job in California. And I sent in all the information, and in 2 weeks, I had a California nursing license in my hot little hand where I was living in Connecticut. How does this happen? So it's just like knowing that you're supposed to be doing something and following the leads and the orchestration that happens behind the scenes is immense. So long story short, I was out 3 months later. I had moved from Connecticut to California and to San Diego area in particular. And I've been here for the last 37 years. So magical things happen all the time. And sometimes when you think the impossible is, it's impossible, it becomes possible. So I just invite you, and I'm hoping that this encourages you and inspires you to just look look for the signs and just know what you're feeling and trust it, okay? Because the universe is here to delight and surprise you, and sometimes we just get in our own way. Ta-da! Anyway, so what I want to say is this. Let's go and look at some other things as to why sometimes it's just so hard to, tap into what's going on and how you're feeling and hearing that voice within yourself and knowing without a doubt that you are so certain beyond words that you know that this is the right thing for you to be doing and learning how to trust that. Sometimes we also our fear factor kind of steps in, and stepping into the unknown is really what kind of separates the mice from the men, so to say. It's like it'll stop you in your tracks because we just pop from being in our physical bodies. Remember, because when we're in our physical bodies, we're in the present moment, we're right here, right now, popping from here to your head, where you're like worrying about things, wondering how it's going to work. How do I make this happen? And you are living in the past or projecting into the future, but you're not in the present moment. So you disconnect yourself from the possibilities. You get yourself out of the flow. It's like you're putting the oars down when you're flowing down the river and you're trying to resist going in the direction that the flow of the current wants to take you. Okay. So just remember all of that. And I know that's a big bite to take on, but you know what? It's magical, and we're in a time of great possibilities. Even though it looks like our world is really falling apart, it's actually falling into place for where we want to go and what we want to create, because energetically we're vibrating at a higher frequency. I just want to reiterate the whole thing. When the universe speaks to you, it's a very subtle voice, it's very symbolic, and it's often layered. Okay. The language of the universe is something that we've never really learned in school. And the only way that we could remember it is through stillness, presence, and inner listening. Okay. Stillness, presence, and inner listening. It's about quieting our mind. And one way that we could do that with a lot more ease is becoming fully present and grounded in our bodies. Okay. For those of you who have a challenge with that, I invite you to go to my website, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, and there's a pop-up that you could sign up for. It's free. And it's about being in the present moment. It's a guided meditation about 5 minutes long, very short, but this will give you an idea of what it's like to be in your physical body and have the expansiveness to know what's around you as you're right here, right now in your body. So go and check that out. drdoloresfazzino.com. There'll be a pop-up. Just sign up for that. It's free. Let's talk about ghosting, because I know I laugh about this because it's interesting listening to the lingo and the language of the different generations. And, we know that ghosting is when, it's used in the dating and social circles that, or all of a sudden somebody just stops talking to you, doesn't communicate anything any further, and there's no closure. And that's done without explanation. It's like the person disappears and goes poof into the ethers. I want to give you a spiritual ghosting in a spiritual or personal context definition. It's ignoring your inner nudges or intuitive messages. Okay. It's disregarding synchronicities or signs. It's shutting down when deeper guidance arrives. Okay. And it's avoiding alignment with your soul's calling due to fear, doubt, or distraction. It's really kind of interesting, too, that when we ghost ourselves from the universe, we often disconnect from our inner truth or higher guidance just when it's trying to reach us. Something to think about, right? So, look for the synchronicities, like those coincidental events that carry meaning. We've all had those. And I think the simplest one to talk about is like, if you've had a friend that you haven't seen for a long time, haven't talked to in a long time, and it might be even years, and you just think about them. And the next thing you know, there's a phone call and it's them, and it's like in the next day or less. That is, that is definitely what a synchronicity is. Okay. Sometimes seeing patterns repeating over and over. Sometimes it could be like seeing numbers. A lot of people see 1111, and 1111 is pretty powerful because it's like the spiritual gateway. It's the opening to stepping into the spiritual aspects of ourselves, something to keep in mind. But also look up numbers. You could look up online, the meaning of such and such a number when you keep constantly see it over and over. Animals, when they cross your path, those are synchronicities too, and messengers. And sometimes we could just ask the universe, show me a sign that I'm on the right path. So this is a funny story, and I'm going to just share this. Is like, I remember a few years ago, every year I pick out a word instead of doing a New Year's resolution, a word for the year. And a couple years ago, my word was trust. So not so long after that, I'm driving in my car, and I was at getting ready to go and stop at a stop sign in the car in front of me. It said, "Trust life." I was like, okay, thank you very much. I'm on the right path. So, some of this stuff you'll be amazed that it's like you just can't make this stuff up because it's so interesting. So, with that being said, we're going to go on our first break, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And we're talking today about the universe and how we try to ghost it. So, the universe is calling, stop ghosting it. And when we come back, we'll talk some more.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And we're talking about the universe is calling. Stop ghosting it today on my show. And, before we went on break, we were talking about, the synchronicities in life and those I'm calling aha or God moments where they seem coincidental, but they're magical. And it's like you almost want to label them. You can't make this stuff up because that's how incredible it is. But, for many of us, I feel that we talk about ghosting and how we ignore the universe and stuff like that. Part of, being tapped into to know more about kind of what's going on and feeling that is our intuition and inner knowing, that gut feeling or that inner nudge or that quiet yes or no. And I say quiet because it's not screaming like, Dolores, pay attention. It's like, Dolores, pay attention. It's that quiet, subtle, calm, clear, and persistent voice. It's almost like, you get that little tap on the shoulder and says, pay attention. And you ignore it. And then you get the slap across the face. You might pay attention. Sometimes you'll ignore it. And then the refrigerator drops on you. Then you pay attention. And it's about learning how to hear the subtleties before the refrigerator has to drop onto you. Okay. And sometimes this happens when we have repeating patterns or we're just ignoring. We're just ignoring or not. I'm not going to say ignoring. Maybe we just don't know how to tap into that. And that's okay because there's ways to learn how to do that. Pay attention to dreams and symbols. Sometimes we are more connected than we give ourselves credit for because we are in a universe here on earth where if we don't see it, it doesn't exist sometimes. Yet there is more going on in the invisible concepts of who we are than in the physical. There's like a host of characters. And for those of us who are able to see energy and frequency, we're privy to that. And it's not like somebody's more special than the other to do that. It's just more developed. We all have that capability. Okay. It's like a continuum. You either have it very well developed or you're in the neophyte stages. So that doesn't mean that one person is more special than the other. Those gifts are just um, accessed and utilized better. Okay. Sometimes when we have situations happen in our lives, sometimes we look at things as a detour, or maybe they're an opportunity, or it's a detour with an opportunity disguised. You just never know. So when you're in the present moment and you're trusting your inner barometer, your intuition, your inner guidance, the life is going to redirect us for our growth. And sometimes it looks like, maybe you're losing a job or losing a relationship or, having to move. Just for examples, it could be anything. Sometimes energetically, we're no longer in alignment with what current situation is. We have grown beyond that, and we are just hanging on by our fingernails just to stay status quo so we don't like change and stuff like that. Yet where we're going and who we are, the universe is trying to upgrade you. Yet we cling to the old because it's so familiar, because out of the fear of the unknown and not knowing what's coming. So I invite you to be brave and take a step and know that when things start happening to you, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Okay. So just be kind to yourself, have some self-compassion. And, just a little thought too, where in your life have there been signs or nudges that have, gotten you where you are now? And where are they starting to appear now, where you need to be going now? Okay. So let's talk about why we ghost ourselves or ghost the universe. Okay. And we talked a little bit about the fear of change. We know that change is uber uncomfortable. My gosh, it's just like, why can't things stay status quo? Why does it always have to change? Because remember, we're growing, evolving, and expanding. And energy is energy. It goes, it flows. And when you raise your frequency and vibration, anything that's not a match to that is just going to fall away. Okay. And the good news is it creates a vacuum. So whatever is supposed to be for us will be radiating and to us. So it's about learning how to receive what's already there for us that we're energetically now ready to make contact with. Many people are afraid of what is going to happen. It's just like, oh my God, if I change, I'm going to lose people. I'm going to lose, relationships. I'm going to lose my identity, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Who cares? Nope, they really don't care. We put so much pressure on ourselves thinking that, oh my God, what is everybody else going to think? They really don't care. Newsflash, they don't. So be brave, step into where you're being led, and I think you're going to be truly amazed and much more happier. So, the other thing that people come across too is like they have this fear of success, and that keeps them small as well. So, the other thing to look at is where in your life are you playing small and not really showing up? It's that's a big problem too, and when you can embrace that and lean into that and take a step on your success path, um, there's going to be personal growth with that as well. Trust me, there's personal growth with everything. It's not about you do it once and you're done. It's just like we're here to learn. We're always learning and growing and evolving. And we can make it a lot easier or we can make it really difficult, but it's still going to happen. Okay. So it's a choice. You could either, all right, I'm going to just embrace this and just walk with it with the grace and the self compassion that I need. We are also so conditioned by, our culture, society, And, for too long, we've been taught that you have to trust logic, reason, and data over inner knowing. Thank God this is shifting because, logic, reason, and evidence-based, I'm going to call BS on it because it's just like it's all manipulated statistics, and it depends on who's involved with it at the other end with their agendas. There's all this stuff that is not true and pure. So your inner guidance is the right reference point for what your next steps are for you, not your family, not your spouse, not your employer, not society, but for you. And you know what? It may be so counter or like 180-degree difference from what you are witnessing out here. Yet this is your truth for you and what you need to be doing for you so that you are aligned with who you are. It's your sovereign right to step into this power and not give it away to something outside of yourselves. Okay. And I believe if any time in humanity's evolution, we're in a major shifting point where people are realizing that what's on the external and what they're hearing, and we're inundated with so much stuff right now, like, social media up the yin yang with, you don't know what's real or what's Memorex because, half that stuff is AI created. We don't know it. So it's about learning the discernment aspect of things as well. So you make the right choices for you. Okay. So trust what you're feeling and knowing. And you know what? If society is going to label that as woo woo, well, so be it. That's on them. And that's their way of trying to control and make you wrong. Remember, the outside here, a lot of times there's this chaos and there's this black or white type of dimension going on. Whereas when you come in to yourself, you get to see all the different shades of gray and possibilities. Okay. So take that and just sit with that for a little bit. Sometimes, we have bad experiences from the past where when we did listen to our heart and things didn't go as planned, we created some distrust. And trauma can also cause us to, disconnect from our inner compass as well. So, just be kind to yourself, have some self-compassion, and do what you need to, maybe take a deeper dive into your past to heal and dissolve those things that are holding you back. And I think one of the biggest things that, causes us to not hear the universe is like the whole mode of having to be busy all the time. It's like we are constantly distracting ourselves if you could. I mean, gosh darn it. Each one of us has a phone, right? We're on social media and looking at, social media stuff. That's distraction. That's busyness. Now, I take that a little differently because I have some apps that are like coloring apps. So I'm on my phone and I'm doing coloring apps. I'm not listening to any type of social media. I'm like plugged into that because to me, that's my mindful activity. So there's a fine line. So um, know if you'll know if you're being, you're distracting yourself because if you're creating busyness and it's like you're a whirling dervish, like these little tornadoes going around because you got a million and one things, we're distracting ourselves. It's like when we distract ourselves, we're not in our physical body. We will, just constantly be, trying to create something out of nothing. So we're getting ready to go on our next break. And we've been talking about, all these things that create ghosting to the universe. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that and then just go into a meditation so you could learn how to connect with yourself so you could listen to the answering the call within and listening to that inner wisdom. So stay tuned. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we'll talk to you when we get back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And we're actually talking about ghosting. And, how many times do we ghost the universe? Okay, not listening to it. And it has all this rich wisdom and insight that is just for us. We have our own personal, I'm going to say, wisdom keeper. But yet many of us don't tap into that. So, before break, we were talking about the ways that we ghost the universe. And, it's usually by distracting ourselves, not healing ourselves from our past hurts. And sometimes it's cultural conditioning. And, I think the biggest one is the fear of change. The other one too is like, sometimes we don't feel worthy and we doubt ourselves. Sometimes we may feel that we aren't special or spiritual enough to be guided, and that's a bunch of malarkey. The truth is, divine communication is available for everyone. We are all worthy of that. That's our sovereign right. It's part of who we are as being a human being. And it's time to step into our sovereignty and step into our power and step into the aspects of who we are that are going to lead us to where we need to go next. Okay. So, I just want to ask the audience, it's something to ponder. What has kept you from listening or trusting the messages you've been getting? Okay. And, whatever comes up for you, it's not about judging or criticizing, it's about just observing. When we come from a point of observing, there's no judgment or criticism. you're just witnessing. When you're in react mode, this is where you judge and criticize. Okay. So if you like what you hear on our channel, this is a little commercial break here. I just invite you to, give us a 5-star review on iTunes and search for the Dr. Dolores Show. I will be very grateful, and this will assist in getting the information out to those that need it the most. So please help us out with that. I would love that. So we're going to get ready to go into our guided meditation for the episode. And I called this Answering the Call Within. And so when you're ready, I just invite you to get comfortable. And you could either be seated or lying down. Just find a comfortable position. And just let your eyes gently close. And just allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. And take a deep breath. Cleansing breath in through your nose. And hold it. And exhale slowly through your mouth. And let's do that again. Breathe in deeply and release. And just feel yourself arriving fully in this moment. As you settle in, imagine with each breath that you are softening, melting into the space of stillness. Allow the external world to fade for just a few moments and turn your awareness inward. Now, bring your attention to your heart center and place a gentle hand there if you like. And feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. Feel the quiet aliveness that lives beneath the surface. This is the seat of your inner wisdom. It has always been with you, even when you've doubted it, even when you've ignored the signs. It is never left. Take a deep breath into your heart space. And as you exhale, silently repeat to yourself, I am open to receive. And let's say that together again, silently or aloud. I am open to receive. Now, imagine a soft light glowing from within your heart. It may be golden or violet or any color that feels sacred to you. With each inhale, this light grows stronger. With each exhale, it expands, reaching out through your body, filling you with calm, clarity, and connection. Now, invite the universe to speak. You don't need to force it, just allow. Pose a gentle question in your mind, something like, what is it I need to hear right now? Where are you guiding me? Take a few breaths here and simply listen. You might receive an image, a word, a feeling, or just a deep sense of peace. Whatever comes or doesn't is perfect. Trust the timing and trust the space. Now, bring your awareness to any message or emotion that surfaced. No need to analyze, just acknowledge it. Thank your inner wisdom and the universe for showing up. Breathe in, and as you exhale, repeat to yourself, I trust the guidance I receive. I trust the guidance I receive. And begin to bring your awareness back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Feel the surface supporting you. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Take one more grounding breath together. Excuse me. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. Carry this stillness and trust with you. And know the universe is always speaking. And now you are listening. Welcome back, everybody. What was that like for you? Did you gain any wisdom or insight? And we're getting ready to go on our last break. And you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And when we come back, we're going to wrap it up for the episode. So stay tuned.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And our show today is called The Universe is Calling, Stop Ghosting It. And, we were talking, in our earlier segments about what ghosting is and what when the universe is calling us, what it actually looks like. And it's not what people think. It's so subtle sometimes that it's just like those little nudges that you get. And if you're not quiet enough or in your body, you're not going to hear those subtleties. Everything happens with synchronicities and, those aha moments, and it keeps life magical. And when we stop, you know, being in the flow of that, that's when we really start having some hiccups. Okay. It's like we start, we start having those bumps in the roads. And because sometimes we're not paying attention, and, the universe is telling us ways on how to do a bypass of those bumps in the roads. I mean, there's many different, possibilities. Now, what I really want to, um, drive home today about our episode, some of the key, takeaways from our episodes our episode is this. Remember, the universe speaks in subtle ways. It's quiet. It rarely shouts. It whispers through intuition, synchronicities, and unexpected opportunities. So start noticing the patterns that show up in your life because they're there. It'll pleasantly surprise and delight you. Ignoring the call is a form of self-abandonment. Ghosting the universe often means ghosting your own inner truth. I'm going to say that again. Ghosting the universe is often means ghosting your own inner truth. Reconnecting begins with a willingness to listen. Fear is not a stop sign. It's an invitation. Lean in. Fear often shows up at the edge of growth. Okay. It's like you're at the edge, the visual is it's like you're on the edge of a precipice and you're being scared by this, you're being chased by this gnarly lion. There's no place to go. And sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith and just jump and know that the bridge is going to be there for you. Okay. Your inner wisdom is the most powerful compass. Remember, you are not separate from the divine. You are part of the divine. And you've always had access to the answers. You just need to make space to hear them. Remember, it'll be subtle. It's not going to be a scream. I think this is the most important thing. You don't need to have it all figured out to begin. Start with one step towards what feels aligned. The path will unfold through trust and willingness, not perfection. Okay. It doesn't have to look perfect or be perfect until it's done. So I just want to close with this. Remember, you are in constant dialogue with a loving, intelligent universe. Every unanswered nudge is a missed opportunity to align with your deeper purpose. When you stop ghosting the call and start responding with intention, life transforms from ordinary to extraordinary. The journey home to yourself begins with one brave moment of listening. So I'm going to leave you with a quote by Albert Einstein. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. So just take what was shared with you today and just ponder and reflect on, where in your life are you not paying attention to the signs, to that intuitive nudging? And where are you ghosting the universe? Okay. So as we were sharing our information in the infomercials, you noticed that we have this beautiful program called I'm Awake Now What? It's actually a community. And it's for people who are on their spiritual journey, who are feeling like they, woke up to something bigger, but the world around them hasn't caught up. I just want to remind you, you're not alone. I'm Awake Now What is a soul-centered community for those navigating the profound, often confusing journey of spiritual awakening, and sometimes it could be daunting. You've shed the old layers, you see life differently, but now you're wondering what's next. So I invite you to join myself, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, and my partner, Cozy Stankaitis, who's a body talk practitioner and a master energy healer, for our weekly conscious business hours, where we offer insight, tools, support, and a like-minded community who actually get it. It's not just personal growth, it's soul evolution. It's not a class, it's a conversation. It's not a destination, it's the next aligned step. So just remember, when we stop resisting what's waking us up, we start aligning with what's been calling us all along. So if you're thinking, I'm awake now, what? We've got you. So answer the call, reclaim your truth, and connect to your tribe. So go to my website, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, and you're going to see a tab that says, I'm awake now, what? Just click on that, and it will tell you your next prompts. And we would love to support, offer assistance, offer healing, offer insight on your spiritual ascension journey. So next week, we're going to be talking about another topic that is kind of close to this one, but not quite close to it. And I just invite you to check in next week. Know that you are loved, appreciated, valued, and respected. Remember, you are worth it.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.